Hey guys, welcome back to another video over here on the Chinese Zodiac and horoscopes. Today I'm going to talk to you about the Chinese Zodiac and horoscopes, YouTube, and the readings that I do. As we've now entered the year of the snake and it's been over a year since I started these videos, I feel a more updated introduction might be appreciated, especially for those new subscribers who have joined after the initial or the first sort of introduction. So I thought I'd come on and just reintroduce myself. Now, I have been doing these cards, as I say, for over a year now, but I have been doing other cards and reading runes and all sorts of manner of different things for a very long time. It was only when I got into the Chinese Zodiac that this became a thing. And it's more of a hobby than it is anything else. As I say, please don't take anything, to heart or try to read too much into things and overthink it. Sometimes these things are as simple as, literally the simplest of things, and we can overthink them and read too much into them. But I did think I'd introduce these cards again, because I know people may, or some people, new subscribers or new viewers, they may not really understand what it is exactly what I'm doing here. Now, I keep these cards as reserved for this channel. These cards aren't used for anything else, so I only use them for this particular thing. Now, as you can see, there's white and there is negative here. Now, we've got obviously the yin and yang, the positive and the negative, and they come in card form. Now, it's easy to look at these and say, oh, white is good and white is bad, and that's very kind of the basics of it. You can literally look at those two and just go, which one are you going to pick? Which one would you say would be the more preferable one? And everybody, if not the majority, is going to say the white, because that's what they are programmed to think, that they need to think, towards the more positive side of things. Why would anybody want to think negatively? Why would anybody want negative things to happen? But as I've tried to say in all the videos that I do, and I think I have said in every video that I've done right at the beginning when I do the cards, I will say white isn't always all right and black isn't always an attack. And that is the truth. White is not good. Black isn't necessarily bad. It is a matter of perspective, and it is a matter of, more of a grey area than a black and white one. As to say, the white is not going to deny you your bad experiences. Now, say, for example, hypothetically, you were having the worst time of your life. Everything was going wrong. Everything. You were on the edge. You're breaking, or at least at breaking point, ready to snap. And then I pull out 3 whites, or at least, some sort of white element to a reading, whether it's 3, 2, or 1 card, and you would maybe perceive that as a bit of a, taking the mick. And being like, well, hang on a second, no, I'm falling apart here. How could you bring out those whites? Well, the white isn't there to say that you're having a great time and everything's going to be positive. The white is saying that despite the fact that you're going through this rough patch, it could be worse. It could be, and now imagine that. It could be worse, because there is always a positive element to everything. It's the balance of the universe. But just like there is a positive element to everything, there is also the negative. And again, just like the positive, not denying somebody their experience of negativity or in that negative space, the black is not trying to steal away your positivity either. That negative is not there to rob any experiences from you or tell you that you're not feeling a particular way. As I say, you could be having the best time of your life, and then pull out a black card or 2 black cards, 3 black cards, and you'll be thinking, hang on a second, no, I'm loving life right now, I'm high on life. However, it's not about that. It's just basically saying things could be better. Things could be better. I know you're having a great time and all, but there is still this little negative element here that is still hanging around the place, and it's just bringing that to your attention. What the actual message is, however, is determined on when we actually flip the cards. So in an ordinary reading, I will shuffle these cards up like this. Now, I do this with my eyes closed. The only time I open my eyes is when something like this happens, and I'll open them to see what's gone wrong, because I've got stuck. Then I'll readjust the cards with my eyes open. so that I know that we've got them all and they're all there. So my eyes are open. Let me just put those back. And then when I get back into this position, my eyes are then closed again. So I'll close my eyes. I don't want to be influenced by the white and the black. Obviously, as you can imagine, I have a lot of friends that have subscribed to this channel. I know they're Chinese Zodiacs. When I'm doing their Chinese Zodiac reading, like, you know, for example, the snake or the monkey or whatever, I don't want to look at it and go, oh, there's a black on the top. I don't want to pull that because I don't want them to have a bad time. And I'm only human. I'm only human. So I wouldn't want to stop on this. You know, as I say, like, I can't just deny that part of me to want people to have a nice time. So I'll close my eyes. Therefore, I'm not being influenced, and I can't be accused of being influenced. Obviously, you can't see my face. However, you're just going to have to trust me on this one. And then I'll get a particular feeling, a little twinge, a little bit of a, that's where it needs to stop. And when I get that, obviously I'm not doing a reading at the moment, so I'm not necessarily going to have that urge to stop, because I'm not seeking any intentions. I'm not asking to receive any messages from any particular thing or something for any particular sign or anything. So let's just say I stopped here and I picked what I would do is I pick one from the bottom, because the one from the bottom is what we're leaving behind. It's the one that is the last thing. It's the last thing that we are moving on from, you know. Then I pick one from the middle, and I do all of this with my eyes closed, so I'm not looking at this. Right now I am, but in an ordinary reading I wouldn't be. And then I pick that one from the middle at random, and that's more like the middle of things, the middle of what we're going through right now, more commonly referred to, I suppose, as presently. What is kind of like presently happening. And then I take that from the top. But on rare occasions, on the very rare occasions, I feel I might have got it a little bit wrong, and I sometimes take that one from the top instead. Same with the bottom. Sometimes it's that one, and I feel that's the one that should be in. Now, that's only on rare occasions that I swap them over, but I'd take this one. So on an ordinary reading, we'd look at this and we'd go, okay, so we've got a black and two whites. Now, again, as I was saying earlier, the white isn't necessarily trying to deny you your negative experience. It's not trying to say that you're not sad. It's not trying to say that you're not upset. It's not trying to say that you're not in a bad place if that's where you feel you are. But it is saying that if you did take an opportunity to look around, you might find some positives, or you'd find some sort of gratitude that you haven't got things as bad as they could be. And then we flip these cards, and we flip them depending in order, and then depending on the compatibility, it would give you the reading of your unique, sort of your individual sign. So I would do this ordinary one by one, because this is a demo. I've flipped them all over so we can give you a bit of an example. So the rabbit there is a catalyst card, usually means change. It means fast change. It means change is coming in quickly. And depending on what sign you are, depends on how you'll handle that. That's why this sort of thing, this reading, this channel, what I do is unique, because no matter what, there is going to be 12 interpretations of that depending on the compatibility. Now, I'd like to take a moment to show you. Obviously, you've seen my cards. If you've been here from the beginning, you'll know my cards are getting... These were brand new when I got them, and they're very tattered. They're getting a little bit used now. But the booklet that came with it has never been opened. The spine has no cracks, no bends. I mean, it's got a bit of bumps on the corner from where I suppose it knocks around in the box it's in. But it's never been opened. I've never looked into this manual before. I haven't done it. I just haven't had that intention to. However, the book that I do use is this one, which, as you can see, is falling apart. It's old, it's well used, and this is the book that I use. Obviously, with my camera set at the angle I use for my readings, you can't really get a full-on picture of it. However, you can see that that book is a lot more used, because these readings are unique. We don't read the booklet and what the booklet tells you it should be. We look at the compatibilities, and depending on what sign you are, depends on the compatibility, and it also depends on how you're going to take these negatives and positives. For example, for a rat person, that horse is not positive. It may be white, but it's not positive. Horses and rats aren't compatible at all. And again, for the rabbit, it may be negative, but for a sheep person, it's not necessarily going to mean something negative. It all depends on that compatibility, and that's what makes this unique. I use the knowledge of the Chinese Zodiac that I've learned along the along the way and over the years, using the Chinese horoscope book by Theodora Lau and Laura Lau, and I do highly recommend that. I really do. It's a fantastic book, and and again, this isn't an advert for them, but I like to show my tools, and I will brag about them if they are good tools. And the Chinese horoscope book is a fantastic tool. So I do recommend that. And I use that to do these readings. Now, of course, there is an element of, if you like, I wouldn't say psychicness, because a lot of people say these things like, tarot reading, stuff like this, psychic readings. I wouldn't necessarily say there was an element to that. However, I have been told by many people that I go to that I should do this because I'm naturally psychic, and I've had readings done before with actual tarot readers, like professional tarot card readers that do read cards for a living, and they're very good at it. In fact, I would recommend the ones I see. However, they've always said that this is a natural path for me because I can naturally just tap into it. And if I wanted to indulge more information, I would share with you some of these messages I've received from other psychics, because I do record every reading that I have done or had done for me by other psychics, and I can share that as a credential if I felt that there was a need to do that. I personally don't feel there is a need to do that because I don't feel I need to prove anything. The proof for me is the now over 400 subscribers that we've got, the regular people that tune in every single week, and the people that leave their comments, and the people that I speak to on a regular basis who tell me that there is something in these cards that speaks to them, there is a message there for them, they resonate with them, and some of them have even become rather dependent and reliant on them. And for me, that's all the sort of credentials or evidence, if you like, proof that I need that I'm doing something right. Or, at least I would feel there'd be a lot more negativity around my channel if people were tuning in and going, well, hang on a sec, this is never right. It's never right for me. But that's, alas, not what happens. So I am very grateful for everybody that does hit that subscribe button, because it does go to show that there is more to this than even I am open to sort of, believe, if you like. And well, as much as I have become very dependent on my own readings once a week, because obviously I too have my own Chinese Zodiac or Chinese sign. So I look forward to mine every week as well, and I cannot deny it. I cannot deny it, and I wouldn't dream of denying anybody else their experiences or how they resonate with things. And I would be a rather bad YouTube host, and it would be very bad for my YouTube channel if I was to sit here and say that I was rubbish at what I do. But good thing I don't actually feel that way, so that's good. However, every week I do come on and I do a reading for each Chinese Zodiac sign. That is a bit of a demo of how I do that. I read the compatibilities, I use my own knowledge, and we work around those cards to bring you those readings. I do, however, have a Patreon, because I would love to do this in a more in-depth way. I'd love to do this in a more full-on way. However, with the way my scheduling and my routine works, I really feel that if I'm going to dedicate myself to more in-depth readings, it would be nice to have an element of support that is a little bit more, as to say, I don't mind doing the YouTube. I don't mind getting support through subscribers and likes and views. That's fine, and I'm happy to do so. I wouldn't do this if I didn't enjoy it. However, like the videos on this channel, they take over 10 minutes to do a reading, and they are quite exhausting at times. It's not just reading a book. It's not just I'm interpreting. I'm translating a message here. I'm bringing in elements of different things, so it can be tiring, especially if I have to do 1, 2, 3 after another, because I've been relatively lazy and I've forgotten that I didn't do one yesterday or the day before, so I have to do a catch up, because I do want to do them each week. And when I say I do them every week, your week will begin on that day. It's a day that I've chosen to start your week for you. So, for example, Monday is the rat and the horse, and as a not the horse, sorry, the rat and the ox. And as a rule, that's when I usually do those two readings, and then I do 2 a day up until Saturday, allowing Sunday for a day off or as a backup day to get them done as quickly as possible. And again, because of routine, because of my scheduling, because of what I'm doing, it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes I am late on them, and I have apologized, and more recently I have said that you may not be able to rely on the days that they usually fall on, but I do try, because I do like to keep that consistency. I like to keep that week in the place that it's supposed to be in. You know, there's no point doing weekly readings if you're going to miss half a week or it's going to be a week before. We're looking at 7 days. So from today, like the rats today on a Monday, their reading will go up until next Monday. Tomorrow, the tiger will be next Tuesday. Wednesday, the dragon, next Wednesday. Thursday, the horse, next Thursday. Friday, the, monkey, next Friday. That's how it is. It's like your week will start on that day. And those videos can take over 10 minutes or so to do. And that's like just the video. Then I do the edit bit, and then I have to upload it, and then uploading it and stuff. It can be quite time consuming. Not a lot, albeit it's not massive, but it is still time consuming. Now, what I am proposing that I would like to do is to explore into this a lot more, which would be to do 9 cards. So I would pull 9 cards out from a different spread. I wouldn't go bottom, middle, or the top, or whatever. It would be just 9 cards from the deck, and we would just pull them out, like 9 cards, as you would any 9 cards, and there we go. It'd be a bit like this. And then what we would have is we would do sort of financial, sort of money orientated reading, a romantic love marriage sort of reading, and then we would do a general kind of health about you, and other stuff, like a general sort of bit at the end there. So you'd get more of an in-depth reading, plus with obviously the one that you've already had, which is the kind of basic one on the YouTube. Now, I've put it on Patreon because that is likely to take a lot longer than just the 10 minutes. Obviously, you're looking at maybe 20 minutes, half an hour just for that reading. But again, that's why I want to do it once a month. And I would like to introduce that 9-card spread, and then move from the YouTube straight to the Patreon, so that it would be like that monthly thing. So I would be on the YouTube doing the weekly thing, but then after the weekly thing, it would be right now we're going to go over to the Patreon, move over to the Patreon to do that monthly thing, which is going to take a lot more time. So for me to justify the move, the editing, the extra time and stuff like this, I'm happy to take myself out of my routine where I would usually be for a small cost, so that I can then say I'm doing this because I'm getting paid for it, rather than that because the other project I'm not necessarily, gaining much from, if that makes sense. So I've kept it relatively cheap. I've kept it relatively simple. So you can join up if you want to down below by clicking on that Patreon link and subscribing to the once a month larger, more in-depth readings. And I think they'll be a bit more personal. I think I will be present in the video so we can get a bit more of a feel. I'd like to be a bit more involved, if you like. So I think over on Patreon it would be a lot sort of different. There would be a lot different stuff over on Patreon. So if you are interested, then feel free to join. You can click on the link below. Now, the money that I receive from those subscriptions, I'm not just going to go out and spend willy-nilly. No, I'm going to invest them. I'm going to invest them into something that is Chinese Zodiac orientated, because I've said how amazing this book is and how much I love the book. But the cards I like them. I really do like them, but they're not mine. They are not mine. So what I'm now currently doing is I'm working with an illustrator, and I am designing my own deck of Chinese Zodiac cards. And with the money that I make from the subscriptions on Patreon, that will then be invested into making my own Chinese Zodiac deck. And that deck will be available to members of the public once I've designed it and it's been drawn up and we've got it. because I really do feel at this point the cards that I've used have been fantastic, but they're only inspiring me more to get my own deck. And the booklet inside that deck won't be based on my own, my sort of own interpretation of whatever. It'll be based around what I've been doing, which is the actual compatibility. So it will actually explain, the booklet will actually explain in a lot more detail how to do your own readings from my deck of cards. But that's going to be a costly, lengthy process. And to get there, because don't forget, this is my hobby. It's not my job. It's just my hobby. So to get there and to justify it, I'm willing to put any money that's made in Patreon into a little pot to make those cards a reality. Now, if you would like to help support me in that, then please join that Patreon, because it's not just getting more readings for you and, you getting a better understanding of what things are happening around, your life for you, but it's also going to help this channel grow further, and it's also going to help the production of my own deck, which obviously will then be used in these readings in the future and then be available for public. So if you'd like to help me achieve that, then please join the Patreon below. If not, again, as I've always said, it doesn't matter, because I'm still going to be here on YouTube. I'm just going to keep growing this channel. I'm over 400 subscribers now, which I think is absolutely brilliant. And once I get to a certain threshold, I can then monetize YouTube as well. Or, again, just sort of like using that as revenue to then put into a pot to make these cards and to produce that for the future. So if you would like to support me in a non-financial way, all you've got to do is hit a like on the video. All you've got to do is hit that subscribe button. All you've got to do is tell your friends about how brilliant the Chinese Zodiac is and that they should check out this channel, and they should too subscribe. And then we can get some growth, and that'd be fantastic. And I'd be very, very grateful. I really would. Anyway, that's a bit of an intro. That's a bit of a demo for you of things, and a little bit more of a up-to-date explanation of things. I do intend to do other videos in the future which will include the affinity triangles. I know I've done one already with the doer triangle, the dragon, rat and monkey, and I will do this for all the signs as time goes by. But as I say, it's very time consuming. And at the moment this is just my hobby, and other things will take priority, unfortunately, but I will be doing that. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss those extra little videos, because I know if you're used to coming in on a Monday because you're a rat, and on a rat every Monday you can just come on a Monday and it'll be there, that's great. But then doing it sort of independently on your own, you're not going to get a notification to say that I've uploaded a video on a Thursday which isn't about the rat. It will be something else. It will be for, a more educational video based around the Chinese Zodiac. And that's what I wanted to focus on when I first started. This is just, or it's become obvious now that things are very, very much more time consuming than I considered. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for watching. And if you do enjoy, as I say, the channel, then please do hit that subscribe button. I will be starting the week again with a rat reading next, so if you are interested in those guys, I will see you over there. If you are a rat, then I'll see you there, my ratty friends. And if not, I will see any of the rest of you in your reading this week. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for everything. Love and peace.